and welcome to our Saturday evening news just after 6 o'clock on Saturday the 15th of October. And in the news this week, if you have a child due to start secondary school or upper school in September 2023, you'll need to apply by Monday the 31st of October for the best chance of getting a place at their preferred school. This applies to all children moving from primary to secondary school or middle to upper school in September 2023. Now, finding the right school place for your child is important for any parent or carer, and the admission pages of Dorset Council website will provide you with all the information you need to apply. You can also check out their Parents Guide for information about the different types of schools and the way to apply for each one. Now, the school application deadline, as they say, for schools where children are joining in September 2023 is by the 31st of October. If you're not able to apply online, you can speak to the admissions team at Dorset Council on 01305 221 060. That's 01305 221 060, or you can email admissions@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. Now, earlier this year, Weymouth Town Council appointed consultants Hemingway Design to work on plans to enhance the seafront and to make it Weymouth an all-year-round destination for everyone to enjoy. Designer Wayne Hemingway of Hemingway Design provided an update on Weymouth's emerging seafront master plan to the council on Monday. It follows a survey launch in May to gather public opinion, which attracted more than 2,200 responses. The data has now been collated and a summary was presented to town councillors, businesses and hoteliers from the Weymouth area. Some of the initial ideas to come out of the survey included encouraging more walking and cycling in the resort to improve connections to the seafront from key parts of the town centre. Other suggestions included looking at more opportunities for street food trading, increasing green spaces along the promenade and making improvements that would encourage visitors to explore more parts of the seafront, particularly to the north end of the resort. The next steps are to develop a full proposal that will go out to public consultation in the coming months, when further details will be shared on how people can have their say. And it's important to say, at the moment, no decisions have been made. This is all sort of an outline and stuff being prepared for consultation. Now, the annual Guy Fawkes night firework display and beach bonfire returns to Weymouth seafront next month. And Weymouth Town Council are on the lookout for traders who would like to have a stall on the promenade on the evening of Saturday the 5th of November. Now, whether you're a trader selling food, drinks or other goods, then applications need to be received no later than midday on Wednesday this week. That's Wednesday the 19th of October. Weymouth seafront will experience high footfall in connection with the fantastic firework display, so it's the perfect opportunity to be part of the event. The format of the evening is going to be from 4 o'clock, fairground rides open at the pavilion, 7:40 beach bonfire built. 7:40 the beach bonfire built during the day is going to be lit, and 8 o'clock the fireworks are ignited from a vessel in Weymouth Bay. Now, if you're interested in being there as a trader or a vendor of any type, then just give Weymouth Town Council a call on 01305 239 839 or email procurement at weymouthtown.council.gov.uk. Now, South Western Ambulance Service NHS Foundation Trust is inviting people to Poole to join them for a Restart the Heart Day in Poole tomorrow, the 16th of October. 16th of October is National Restart, in fact it's International Restart a Heart Day. Members of SWAST FT and Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance will be in the Dolphin Shopping Centre between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on Sunday, offering free CPR and defibrillator awareness training to members of the public. The ambulance service is joining thousands of other healthcare workers from across the country to help improve public awareness of cardiac arrest and increase the number of people who are trained to act in a medical emergency. At the free event, members of the public can learn about cardiac arrest, find out what a defibrillator does, and learn how to deliver life-saving CPR. In the last 6 years, South Western ambulance have responded to and provided resuscitation attempts for over 21,000 patients following a cardiac arrest. 75% of patients experiencing cardiac arrest do this at a private location, such as a home or holiday address. So often, they are with family members or friends. Over the past 6 years, 65% of patients who experienced an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest received bystander CPR before the arrival of the first ambulance resources. So that's good, but it would be better, obviously, if more than 65% had CPR. And we will be returning to this later in the programme. Now, the Police and Crime Commissioner for Dorset has launched the Fix the Future Community Fund to help support projects and initiatives which will benefit young people and their local community. Grants are being made available to community groups and organisations for projects and initiatives that reflect the needs of younger people, give them the development opportunities, add value to the community, and ultimately make Dorset a safer place to live. Applications can be for between £100 and up to £5,000, and projects must meet the funding criteria and have a local focus. The fund is particularly aimed at helping those from deprived and isolated areas. Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner David Siddick said, "I am delighted to introduce a brand new community fund aimed at helping young people in Dorset. I have seen the great work that awardees of the Op Relentless Fund have done across the county, and I am very much looking forward to seeing what we can do to help the younger generation. I want our younger residents to have safe spaces to gather and activities available which help them develop and become resilient adults. I want them to have opportunities to use their spare time constructively and help prevent those who may be at risk from getting involved in crime from doing so." So if you're a local charity or you've got a local project that might fit the criteria, then you're encouraged to put a bid in for funding. And hopefully working with the Police and Crime Commissioner will be able to fix the future and make the county safer for everyone. So if you search for Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner and find the website there, you will find all the details about that fund and have the opportunity to apply. Now, young actors from Weymouth are celebrating a milestone anniversary by staging an exhilarating production. Weymouth Drama Club's Curtain Raisers are celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. They will take to the stage of Weymouth Pavilion on Friday, October the 21st, that's this Friday coming, and Saturday, October the 22nd, to perform Around the World in 80 Days. This fun-filled and exhilarating production follows the journey of Phileas Fogg and his companions as they attempt to circumnavigate the globe in just 80 days. His journey takes him from foreign ports and wonderful locations and opens his eyes to a world outside of his daily routine in London. Come and see how this young cast creates Fogg's extraordinary adventure as he travels around the world by train, steamer, elephant, sledge and more. Now, the Curtain Raisers were set up in 1982 after Weymouth Drama Club recruited several children to appear in a production of Noel Coward's Cavalcade. They enjoyed the experience so much that they demanded that their own group be set up. Since then, the Curtain Raisers have produced large-scale productions including I Never Saw Another Butterfly, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, The Thwarting of Baron Bollygrew, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, Alice in Wonderland, Emil and the Detectives, and Goodnight, Mr. Tom. They've also created their own Play in a Day on multiple occasions, which allows them to get creative and put their drama skills into practice. Now, tickets for Around the World in 80 Days can be bought online via Weymouth Drama Club, www.weymouthdramaclub.com, and I think you can also get them from weymouthpavilion.com as well. Now, the green light has been given for 500 new homes to be built at Littermore in Weymouth, with building work expected to take up to 8 years. The homes will be on farmland owned by Cambridge University colleges to the north side of Littlemore Road. Space will also be reserved within the plan for a future shopping centre, business units, possibly including a hotel, school, play areas and other open spaces. Affordable homes will account for 35% of the housing development and will be both for rent and for mixed ownership, with most of these being built in the earlier of the 4 phases of the construction, and it will be managed by Abbury Housing Association. In total, more than 23,000 new trees will be planted around the site, the majority of these to go into the ground during the early days of the development so that they are maturing when the first homes are occupied. On Thursday, Dorset councillors unanimously agreed the final details of the housing, including road layouts, landscaping and house styles. Further approvals will be needed later for the details of 2 road junctions for the site and for the school and business uses. Now, Wyke Regis Health Centre has been found to be in breach of health and social care regulations. Inspectors from the CQC have said after a recent inspection that they could not be assured that staff would be able to respond to emergency situations safely. The Care Quality Commission published an inspection report into Wyke Regis Health Centre on Portland Road, Weymouth last week, saying the surgery requires improvement. The inspection carried out on August the 12th found a breach of Regulation 12 of the Health and Social Care Act 2008 and the Regulated Activities Regulations 2014, in that the registered person did not ensure medication reviews were completed and reviewed regularly in line with national prescribed guidelines. The report added that the provider did not ensure compliance with relevant patient safety alerts issued from the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulation Agency. Inspectors, however, praised the health centre for being well led, saying the practice leaders were knowledgeable about issues and priorities relating to the quality and future of community services. However, a main area of concern was that they found, although the majority of staff had received training in sepsis awareness, only 12 of the 38 staff, that's 38%, had undertaken basic life support training so that they could be assured that staff could respond to emergency situations safely. Now, a spokesperson for Wyke Health Centre said the priority of the team here is to provide the best possible care for our patients, so naturally we are disappointed with the report from the CQC which followed the inspection in August. The recent pandemic, coupled with increasing demands and shortage in recruitment, have meant it is a challenging time for health and care, not just in Dorset, but across the country. However, we do broadly accept the findings of the report. We would like to reassure people that we are working hard to address the areas identified as needing improvement, supported by our local partners. Patients registered with the practice should feel safe and confident using us as normal, and we invite anyone who has any questions or concerns to speak to a member of the practice staff in the first instance. Now, you can join Friends of Radipole Gardens for an afternoon of wildlife, wellbeing and pumpkin carving this October. With free entry and free wildlife trails to go on a hunt, you will be able to meet and talk to those who look after the wildlife at the gardens and learn how you can help them and nature. For the creative, the annual pumpkin carving will take place with a certain number of free pumpkins on offer. Arrive early and check in to be sure of getting one. Councillor John Orell will be joining the festive fun with his apple press at 2 p.m, so those with delicious apples are encouraged to bring them along, and don't forget containers to take away your golden drinks in. Weymouth Library will also be attending for a spot of storytelling. Now, the event takes place on Saturday, October the 29th from 12 noon to 4 p.m. and is for people of all ages and interests. Now, Community Group in Weymouth is preparing to celebrate as it marks its 25th year. The Waterside Weymouth Community Forum was first formed in September 1996, and across its tenure the team of volunteers have played an important role looking after the Park District community in central Weymouth. Securing residents' parking, pushing for a one-way system and reduced speed limit, working with the police and others to try and make the area safer and brighten up the streets with trees and plant boxes are just some of the initiatives promoted by the forum. The group was originally run from an office in Ranelagh Road and moved to the hall in Chelmsford Street in 2006. The park community centre has become an important hub, hosting an array of support group meetings plus popular quiz nights, cookery nights, parents and toddler days and guest speaker events, to name a few. Its upstairs room is equipped with Wi-Fi, a kitchen, quiet space, plus activities such as darts boards and snooker and football tables, and has provided a safe space for young people to socialise off the streets. Now, the forum is entirely made up of volunteers who overcame the challenge of COVID-19, which saw them lose £10,000 throughout the pandemic. The forum is now planning to throw a party to thank all the people who've donated their time and effort to help make the centre a success over the years. Ken Watley from the group has said, "We'd like to contact anybody who has been involved in the last 25 years as members or volunteers. We want to throw the party for people who have been involved with the forum over the years. Activities don't run themselves, so it will be nice to talk to people who have kept the place going." Now, those who have been involved in the forum previously or are interested in helping out at the centre can contact Ken via email at ken.watley, that's W-A-T-L-E-Y, ken.watley @sky.com, or they can call on 01305 520 531. That's 01305 520 531. Now, officers from Dorset Police are investigating a hate crime incident in Weymouth and have issued CCTV footage of a man they'd like to identify. At around 10 p.m. on Thursday the 11th of August, a taxi driver was stopping his vehicle in St Mary Street when the vehicle was hit by a man. The man then confronted the taxi driver and subjected him to racist abuse. Police Constable Tom Watson of Weymouth Police said, "I appreciate his face cannot be seen, but I hope somebody may be able to recognise him from his clothing, general build and haircut." So yeah, we appreciate the picture is not very good, but maybe the clothing, the demeanour of the person in the picture, or the general shape of them may give you an idea who it is. And the police would urge anyone with information relating to the identity of this person to come forward. Now, as usual, you can contact Dorset Police by dialing 101 or by calling Crime Stoppers independently and anonymously on 0800 555 111 with information if you don't want to reveal where that information is coming from. Now, staying with Dorset Police, between Monday the 3rd of October and Sunday the 9th of October, the force took part in a national intensification week to disrupt county lines gangs operating across the country. The aim of the intensification week was to make life as difficult as possible for suspected members of county lines drugs gangs, who often use violence and intimidation to exploit children and the vulnerable and force them to store and run drugs for them. The work has led to a considerable disruption of alleged county lines gangs in Dorset and has removed a large quantity of suspected Class A drugs from the streets. Over the course of the week, Dorset officers carried out 48 cuckooing prevention visits, made 22 arrests and seized 146 wraps of heroin and crack cocaine, 7,500 in cash, various weapons and 17 mobile phones. In total, 27 people impacted by county lines were safeguarded. Now, the coroner for Dorset is seeking the assistance of the public to find the next of kin of a man who lived in Weymouth. Christopher Pinder, who was 64 years old, died at his home address in Clearmount Road on Wednesday the 5th of October. His death is not being treated as suspicious, and there's no police investigation involved in his death. However, Coroner's Officer Tracy Jeans has said, "We are not treating the death as suspicious. However, we have not been able to locate his next of kin. If any member of the public has any knowledge of his family members, please contact the Coroner's Office as soon as possible on 01202 123 900. So the number there is 01202 123 900, and it's any details of family members or next of kin of Christopher Pinder, who was aged 64, died on the 5th of October at his home in Clearmount Road, Weymouth. Now, if later on you remember something, or somebody says something to you and you think, I wish I'd wrote that number down, you can get in touch with us here at Wyke Regis TV, news at Wyke Regis TV, and we can share with you the coroner's details again. So if you do come across any information or remember anything, do get in touch with us and we can put you in touch with the Coroner's Office. Now, Dorset Council has today submitted 3 expressions of interest to government for potential investment zones in Dorset. And the areas that they're looking to become investment zones are Weymouth, with several regeneration sites around the waterside at Weymouth Harbour and Marina. The proposal is to develop disused and underdeveloped sites to provide homes and jobs with opportunities for commercial and leisure developments. Portland being the second area, the port area offering opportunities for commercial and business operations, and a residential site in Castletown. And it should be noted that the proposed location for an incinerator at Portland Port, currently going through the planning process, is excluded from the expression of interest here. And the third area is at Wool, the site adjacent to the existing Dorset Innovation Park. Now, it's understood that the government's new investment zones will accelerate development of infrastructure to drive economic growth by offering tax breaks for potential investors and simplified, reduced regulation and planning processes. And the aim is to attract new investment to create jobs. So they've expressed an interest early so that when the application process opens up, then they can obviously process that more quickly. And finally, in our news headlines tonight, flower power reigned supreme in Weymouth as the town was awarded a silver gilt medal in the National Britain in Bloom competition. Particular mention was given to Greenhill Gardens in the category for Best Municipal Gardens. Working with We Are Weymouth, Dorset Council and local volunteers, the team worked tirelessly to get the town ready for judging back in July. Following a different route to the judges followed in 2021, they saw improvements to the harbour side, hanging baskets, floral boat installations, the quay regeneration, heritage slabs and a sculpture trail amongst many other elements in the town. With extensive planning, painting and planting, the team pulled together a fantastic route to showcase the town, earning the Silver Gilt Award. This national competition recognises communities of all shapes and sizes with a focus on 3 main criteria: horticultural excellence, environmental responsibility and community participation. Now, the 2020 route for the judges began with the Peace Garden, meeting the volunteers there. Then the group walked via the Nose Tavern and the garden steps through to the South Harbour via the old town pump and the old rooms, showing the heritage slab installed there, plus the baskets and flags in Cove Passage. The group continued over the iconic town bridge and took in the regeneration of the South Quay. Next, they met the Chief Eric, it says. I think that should be Chief Executive. I think that's We Are Weymouth at Les Enfants Terribles, and enjoyed a cup of coffee before looking at the newly planted pots along the harbour side and the recently installed planted boat. The judges then enjoyed a trip via the land train to appraise the businesses along the esplanade, and despite a thunderstorm, enjoyed the beach and Brunswick Terrace, plus planted beds along the promenades, ending the tour in Weymouth's famous Greenhill Gardens. Now, since its beginnings in the 1960s, Britain in Bloom has showcased the very best of UK communities in bloom and now encourages community projects and partnerships across the whole country. Now, that's the end of our headlines tonight. Now, I mentioned earlier in the programme that it is National Restart a Heart Day tomorrow, the 16th of October. The Resuscitation Council UK, along with the British Heart Foundation, First Aid Charities, the Association of Ambulance Chief Executives and NHS England work together to help raise awareness of cardiac arrest and the teaching of CPR. In 2018, an amazing 291,000 people were trained in CPR through Restart a Heart Day. 2022 promises to be even bigger thanks to the introduction of a new CPR training tool called Reviver, R-E-V-I-V-R. The free 15-minute CPR training that teaches everyone exactly what to do when someone has a cardiac arrest. You can complete the Reviver training anywhere you want. All you need is your phone and a cushion. Yes, your phone and a cushion. Raising awareness of CPR is important as each year tens of thousands of people have an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest, and sadly less than 1 in 10 people survive these cardiac arrests. Promoting CPR can more than double the chances of survival in some cases. The organisations want more people to survive by making sure as many people as possible know that when somebody collapses and stops breathing, it's important to call 999, perform CPR and use a defibrillator if there is one available nearby. As around 80% of out-of-hospital cardiac arrests happen in the home, this gives mums, dads, sons, daughters and friends the best chance of survival. Now we're going to hear from a lady called Donna from the Yorkshire ambulance area about a story of her having a cardiac arrest.
I felt perfectly fine. There was no reason to suggest there was anything wrong. And then all of a sudden, I just felt my chest was tight. So I thought, I need to head back to where there were people who were really quite isolated with where we were. So I tried to head back and things just went downhill very quickly. There was nobody about, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I saw two passers-by and they saved my life.
When we arrived, they managed to give a good handover to ourselves, to us, to increase the chain of survival.
It was able to confirm that they were boosting her breathing rate, that she had a steady pulse, and when she started to deteriorate, it could inform them of that, and it helped guide what care they were giving her. So it was a really useful addition to the whole scenario.
Once Donna had become unwell, it was recognised that she was very poorly, and some bystanders made a call to 999. And then when she did go into rest, there was CPR was carried out. And then on arrival of the Coast Guard, they took over the CPR. And then on my arrival and the arrival of the air ambulance, we started to initiate more advanced skills. And then she was flown to Hull Royal, and if one of those links hadn't been in place, then I think it would be a much different story.
CPR is absolutely vital. People are often or can be quite scared to do CPR, but essentially if someone stops breathing and their heart stops beating without CPR, then there's no chance of them recovering.
So there we go. You never know when you might need to give somebody CPR. And you might have been surprised to see Donna in that video, that Donna was not an elderly person or somebody who looked unwell or overweight or anything. And I think that's important to realise that cardiac arrest affects everybody, or can affect everybody, whether they are young or old, male or female, incredibly unfit and unhealthy, or incredibly fit and well. Now, if we learn CPR, we may save the life of a friend or family member. You can, of course, go on a proper first aid course, and if you as an individual or as a member of an organisation needs help for finding a first aid course for your community group or your workplace, do email us at news@wyke.TV and we'll be happy to help with that. But the news is now you can now train yourself at home with just a smartphone, a cushion and 15 minutes of your time. And then you will know what to do if somebody has a cardiac arrest. Now, the British Heart Foundation has come up with this Reviver training tool. It's completely free, and by the end you'll even get the option of receiving a certificate as well. If you're a community group, you can share the information about Reviver in your community group and networks, and make sure as many people as possible know what to do when somebody has a cardiac arrest. Now, I'm just going to show you a short video on this Reviver package that works on your phone, just so you've got an idea what it's all about. And so, mobile phone, a bit of space, 15 minutes and a cushion, and you could teach yourself CPR. Here we go. go. I think the other nice thing about this approach is if you're one of those people that don't like attending training with other people and you're always nervous about having a go at something in front of other people, you can do this at home on your own. Everything is on the phone app. All you need is that cushion, a bit of space, and the smartphone, and you can do it in the privacy of your own home, and you never know when you might need that skill. So I think this is a very welcome introduction from the British Heart Foundation. So if you want information or any support with this, or want to learn about courses for community groups, work groups or whatever, do drop us an email at news@wykeregis.tv and we'll be happy to help. Now, moving on, we often mention Dorset Arts Reach on our programme, and this week I found, looking at their website, that they've worked with poet Liv Talk to creatively celebrate Dorset's outstanding local food and drink producers, and to thank those who chose to shop locally, particularly since the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, Dorset is well known for being home to some of the UK's most outstanding local food and drink producers, and many of these are embedded within the communities across our county. Now, commissioned by Arts Reach with the support of Dorset Food and Drink, Dairy Cows and Dorset Knobs, that's what it's called, Dairy Cows and Dorset Knobs, has been written by Southwest-based performance poet Liv Talk, who then spent time travelling around the county with filmmakers, pageant productions, performing the poem in various locations and numerous food and drink producer sites to bring the poem to life on screen, and actually a lot of it is filmed within the Weymouth area. The poem has also been printed on a postcard which features illustrations by local artist Delphine Jones, and this is available to pick up from various Dorset food and drink outlets across Dorset, or by contacting the Dorset Food and Drink team directly. So let's have a look. This is Liv Talk with Dairy Cows and Dorset Knobs, shot around the area of Dorset.
From the great globe at Durlston Castle, you can see the Milky Way reflected in a spoon, licking Purbeck raspberry ripple under a tipsy Swanage moon. We sip the grapes of Furley Fizz, sup shellfish caught on Weymouth shore, watch the sun set over fishing boats, dipping languid over Durdle Door. At 56,000 kilometres an hour, it would take 81,000 years to reach the nearest star. Better save some diesel, keep it local, keep it fresh. Place your footprints lightly, spend your pennies close to home without packaging unsightly. From farm to fork, from seed to tree, with a no excess plastic guarantee. Blue Vinny cheese, organic veg, jams and pickles from the hedge, delivered safely to our stores, arrive like Christmas at your doors. Prime beef from Abbotsbury, succulent sausages from Duck's Pantry, Dairy Cows and Dorset Knobs, apple cake from Anstey. Fueled by organic artisan preserves, we get the food that we deserve. Babou Gelato, West Bay crabs, flavoured olives from Etel, Badger beer from Blandford, Portland lamb with Zinfandel. So crack open the Moore's biscuits, pour a slug of Dorset gin. Remember, it all tastes better after you've done the recycling. So here's a massive thank you to the growing businesses that make sure we get fed, and to everyone who visits us or orders in from bed. You help our shops stay open, keep communities from the brink. By putting your money where your heart is, you support Dorset Food and Drink.
There we go. Dorset Knobs. What was it called? Dorset Cows and Dorset Knobs. Dorset Cows and Dorset Knobs by Liv Talk there. Just thought I would share that with you tonight. So it's now time in the programme where we go over to regular contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV Film Review and Preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week was the home video release of DC's League of Super Pets. The film is an animated 3D superhero comedy film based on DC comic characters and stars Dwayne Johnson as Crypto the Superdog and Kevin Hart as Ace the Bat Hound. The film revolves around Superman's pet dog Krypto teaming up with shelter animals who gain superpowers in order to save the Justice League from Lex Luthor and his evil superpowered guinea pig. I hadn't seen the film before the home video release, but I was interested in checking it out, and I found the film to be utterly ridiculous in a good way. It feels like The Secret Life of Pets, but with superpowers, and it shows us a side of the DC universe that we've never seen before. I ultimately found this film to be entirely constructed around the pre-established chemistry between Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart, but I found the standout performances belong to Natasha Lyonne, who plays an old turtle with super speed, and Keanu Reeves, who plays probably the funniest version of Batman that's ever been seen. I give this film 4 out of 5 stars. This weekend marks the release of Halloween Ends, the final film in the Halloween sequel trilogy, and Jamie Lee Curtis's final film as the iconic horror heroine, Laurie Strode. The film picks up 4 years after the events of last year's Halloween Kills and focuses on Laurie finally being able to move on and finds herself put in a position to have to finish her battle with Michael Myers once and for all. The film is in cinemas this weekend, courtesy of Universal Pictures. Be sure to check it out. This weekend marks the theatrical debut of award season favourite Emily, a biographical film about acclaimed English author Emily Bronte, and the film depicts Bronte's life before she wrote the novel Wuthering Heights. The film stars actress Emma Mackey, most famous for her role in Netflix's Sex Education, and is the directorial debut of actress Frances O'Connor, who is most famous for her roles in the films AI, Artificial Intelligence, and The Conjuring 2. The film premiered last month at Toronto's International Film Festival to rave reviews from critics who praise every aspect of the film. The film has already won 3 awards from a small British film festival in France earlier this month and is expected to play a major presence at the next Oscars. Emily arrives in UK cinemas this weekend, courtesy of Warner Bros. Pictures UK. Production has commenced on the next Kenneth Branagh Poirot film, A Haunting in Venice. The film is a sequel to 2022's Death on the Nile and is an adaptation of the Agatha Christie book Halloween Party. Kenneth Branagh is once again directing the film and starring as the titular Agatha Christie character Hercule Poirot, after previously doing so in 2017's Murder on the Orient Express and 2022's Death on the Nile. A Haunting in Venice also stars actors Tina Fey and Michelle Yeoh, as well as actors Jamie Dornan and Jude Hill after their success in Branagh's previous film Belfast. A September 2023 release date has been set, but expectations are tempered after the mixed critical reception to the first 2 films and the fact that Death on the Nile flopped at the box office. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will talk about the new DCEU film Black Adam starring Dwayne Johnson. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And as mentioned in Andrew's piece, and courtesy of Warner Brothers, we have the preview of Emily that is released this weekend.
Emily, how did you write Wuthering Heights? Shall we begin?
Miss Emily Bronte.
You're off to become a wonderful teacher.
You know I don't like to meet new people.
What do you want to do?
Do you think I could be a writer? I have lots of stories.
Mr. Wayton will be tutoring you in French.
He speaks with such poetry.
Any man can speak. What I want to know is, can he actually do?
Do what?
You're supposed to be an artist. So be an artist.
What is that?
I wrote it.
Freedom in thought!
Freedom in thought!
Come on! Freedom in thought!
Freedom in thought!
I have often struggled to understand you.
Your poetry.
Do not bring shame on this house, Emily.
Did you write these? It's an ugly book.
There's something ungodly in your writing. I feel it when we're together.
You know they call you the strange one.
Everyone's strange if you look at them for long enough.
Who are you? You wait and see.
There we go, that's Emily. Released and in cinemas this weekend, courtesy of Warner Brother Pictures. And as Andrew said in his review, it's expected to win lots of awards, so maybe one to look out for and go and watch. Now it's that time in the programme where we go over to the Met Office for the national weather forecast for the weekend, and this week we are joined by Greg Dewhurst.
Hello there, I'm Greg Dewhurst and welcome to your latest broadcast from the Met Office. Well, this picture sums it up quite nicely really, quite blustery as we move through the weekend. There'll be showers for everyone, but also some sunshine too. Low pressure is dominant across the UK. However, we will see a brief ridge of high pressure for a time on Sunday, before then further wet and windy weather moves in late Sunday and into the So a blustery end to Saturday, showers across many areas. Showers tend to fade away as we move through into the early hours, though some will still move through, heavy at times, but later on we'll see the clearest skies across England and Wales. Showers continuing across the north of the UK. And temperatures under clear spells dipping away, 4, 5, 6 degrees in the towns and cities, a little bit lower in the countryside. A touch of frost possible, perhaps where winds fall lightest across parts of Northern Ireland. So into Sunday morning, a mixed start. Sunny spells across England and Wales, sunshine and showers across Northern England, Northern Ireland and Scotland, but the showers tend to fade away as the morning progresses. Plenty of sunshine to come, however, thicker cloud will start to move into Northern Ireland ahead of some wetter and windier weather later. Elsewhere, the sunshine turning hazier. With lighter winds, it should feel a little bit warmer on Sunday compared to Saturday, 16, 17 Celsius, possibly 18 in the far southeast. Then if we play the sequence on through Sunday evening, we see that wetter and windier weather moving in, initially affecting parts of Northern Ireland, but soon sweeping in across the whole of the UK. The wind's really picking up across the northwest of the UK, gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour possible as we head into the early hours. Rain followed by showers across the rest of England and Wales. So temperatures overnight into Monday morning, generally staying in double figures, perhaps single figures across the far north. So if you'd like more information on the weather where you are through the weekend and into the beginning of next week, you can find more information on our social media channels. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much, Greg, there for the national weather forecast. And looking at the local weather for the week ahead, we can see yet again it's going to be reasonably mild but changeable. So, you know, a bit of sunshine, some showers, heavy at times, but those temperatures, daytime temperatures, not too bad this coming week. Definitely a bit autumnal and a bit wet and a bit windy, but not too cold for the time being. Now, moving to our What's On section this week. First of all, Monday the 24th, so that's a week on Monday, there's a talk on the recent archaeological investigations in Weymouth around the site of the old bowling complex. And that's 2 p.m. in Hope United Reformed Church. So that's Monday week, the 24th, 2 p.m. in Hope United Reformed Church, if you're interested in what was found during those archaeological investigations. Now, turning to Weymouth Pavilion, 21st to 22nd, Weymouth Drama Club, as we heard earlier on in the programme, are presenting Around the World in 80 Days. So that sounds to be a very, very good thing, worth going to. 25th of October, 10cc in concert. 27th of October, Beth Nielsen Chapman, Crazy Town Tour. 28th of October, ELO again. 29th of October, Legends of American Country. And 30th of October, Bootleg 60s. The box office online is at weymouthpavilion.com or on telephone 01305 783 225. The No Thought have got their Halloween fun for the whole family coming up from the 22nd to the 30th of October. See their website for more details of the individual bits and pieces happening over that period and for timings. Royal Manor Theatre, the next thing coming up there is the 17th to the 22nd of October this week. It's a bunch of amateurs. It's a play by Ian Hislop. They're putting on there at the Royal Manor Theatre. Tickets for that, www.royalmanortheatre.co.uk. Here in Wyke, Regis at All Saints Church, not quite the last night of the proms. Saturday the 29th of October at 7 p.m. It's the delayed proms concert that unfortunately was put off due to the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. So it's a bit of a proms concert, but with other sort of movie themes and what have you in there. That's the 29th of October at 7 p.m. And then on the 6th of November at 6 p.m, that's a Sunday, the Nota Bene Choir are doing a concert in All Saints Church. Tickets for both of those are available online at www.parishofwykeregis.org.uk/events. Now, Arts Reach we mentioned earlier on, and I think I mentioned last week that their new programme is out. I've got a copy here. Oh, good, put it up the wrong way. Their new programme's out. I've got a copy here. If you want a copy of that programme, and I have to say it's absolutely rammed full with all sorts of different stuff across the whole of Dorset, go to their website, www.artsreach.co.uk, and order one of those and they will post it to you. Now, tomorrow in Langton Matravers at 4 p.m, there's a tango music workshop. There's also a play in Chetnole Village Hall at 7:30. Adolf and Winston. There's a play going on there. And from Friday the 21st to Sunday the 23rd, there is something called The Beast in Me, which is an accompanied storytelling experience. And I think it's basically string instruments accompaniment, and that's in West Stafford, Shillingston and Drimpton Village Hall. Again, for details of the exact timings, locations and to book tickets, go onto the Arts Reach website at www.artsreach.co.uk. And I say the good thing with Arts Reach is they do such a wonderful range of stuff for the kids, workshops, plays, musical experiences all over Dorset, often in very small rural settings, so it gives you the opportunity to go out and explore a bit of Dorset as well as seeing something a bit different as well. Now, looking to church services in the locality tomorrow, there is no 8 o'clock service at All Saints Church tomorrow, but the normal 9:30 service is on at All Saints Church, which will also be live streamed, and the 11 o'clock service at St Edmunds is on as normal. Tonight, in a short while, in about 40 minutes, our quiz programme, 7:30 tonight, as ever. The stream will go live about 20 past 7 with the quiz starting promptly at 7:30. Everybody's welcome to join that. It's free of charge. It's fun for all the family, and anybody is welcome. And tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we're repeating the October episode of A Year Gardening with Clive Gray. Now, before we finish, just a bit on traffic and travel. There is a bus replacement service on the train between Southampton Airport Parkway and Eastleigh over this weekend. And major roadworks this week, that's ones that are likely to cause disruption, mainly with traffic lights, are in Abbotsbury Road, Preston Road on the Beach Road, Dorset Road, Bridlebank Way. And there are still disruptions around the town due to the work on the town bridge that has still got a few more weeks of work to happen. Now, that brings us to the end of this week's programme. Of course, if you want to contact us about any events, any news, anything going on in the community, or if you wanted to follow up on our story on CPR and training in CPR, or if you remember anything about that coroner's request for help, then do get in touch with us. News at Wyke Regis TV. We are here all week round picking up the emails. I know we only broadcast on Saturdays, but we are dealing with the emails all week round. Do drop us an email. We'll be pleased to get back to you and to hear from you. So that's all we've got from you for you for this week. Have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and see you again next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Good night.